It's fall. Let's make this pumpkin. This is a great beginner project and I hope you enjoy this video. So let's get started. Here's what you need. Just a regular acrylic worsted weight yarn. I think this is what works best. This is a Red Heart Super Saver, nice and cheap for weight, okay? But any acrylic medium weight yarn will work. A 5mm hook. Ooh. You need your yarn needle, skizzas, and then something to make a stem with. I got these cinnamon sticks for like $6 or something on Amazon. And then also you're gonna need fiber fill. We all know what fiber fill looks like. Let's get started. Go ahead and start with your yarn and make a slip knot. If there's anything in this video that you don't know how to do, go to my tutorial videos and it'll say how to do these things, like how to make a slip knot and how to single crochet. So you have your slip knot, and the cool thing about this pattern is you can, well, we don't even call it a pattern, we're just gonna make it, you can make this any size you want. It's easy to customize. The chain that we're going to do is going to be the height of the pumpkin, okay? And then the length of it, all those rows that we're gonna make across, is gonna be the circumference. So just to give you an idea, we're gonna make a swatch that's going to be sort of a long rectangle, and then we're going to fold it over, stitch the ends together, and then cinch it up on the top and bottom and put in the stuffing. So this chain is going to be how tall you want your pumpkin. So if we're going to go for a small one, let's do 13 chains so that we have 12 to stitch into. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 11, 12, 13. And now we're going to single crochet into this chain for a total of 12 stitches. So you don't do the first one right there off your hook, but right there into that next one. Okay, so you just go right into the chain, pull through, and single crochet. And just do this all the way down until you get to the end. And when you get to the end, you should have 12 stitches. If you don't have 12 stitches when you get to the end, you messed something up. And it's not the end of the world. You can just go with however many you have, but you might want to see if you accidentally skipped a chain or made more than you thought you were making. Just check it. But we made 13 foundation chains, which should give us 12 stitches in the height of our pumpkin. So I just finished my last stitch. You should have something that looks like this. And I have 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 stitches. So we're at the very end of our row. Now you're gonna chain one, turn your work. And now we're just gonna go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, single crocheting, but into the front loops only. So here's your chain one. So go into that first stitch after the chain one. And rather, if you've never done front loop, it's same as just doing a regular single crochet, but instead of going through both legs of that V, of that stitch, you're just gonna go through the first one, the front loop they call it, which is the one closest to your body. Go up through the middle of it. Okay, did you see that? So not all the way through both, but just through that first section. So you're coming up in the middle of the stitch, and then just single crochet like normal. Pull through one and then pull through the two. So let's see that again on the next one. Go through the middle, that front loop only, and single crochet through. Go through the front loop, pull through one, and pull through two. So do this all the way down your row. Okay, we're getting to the end. And I think the most common beginner mistake when you're doing a project like this is forgetting that last stitch. It's kind of that little curled around. Don't forget it, and just the front loop. It's a little fiddly because it's sort of wraps around at the end. But don't forget that last one. And if you're not sure if you did it, always count. Make sure you still have 12. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12. So you're at the end. Go ahead, chain one, turn your work, and just do it again. So the first chain off of your, first stitch off of your chain one, go through that front loop, and single crochet, and just keep doing this ad nauseum. So I'm gonna come back and tell you how many rows that I did if you want to follow along exactly with me. Okay, so now we have made it all the way to this shape. We have a nice long rectangle, and I did 27 rows. So I have 12 in the original chain, that's the height, and then 27 rows. And if you're not sure how many rows you did, it's not a big deal. You're just gonna eyeball this. So your original chain here, and then that first row of bumps there, that's your first row, and then this column is 2. So it's 1, 2, and then every one of these raised columns is 2. So 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you can just 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, and then this last row is 27. But like I said, you really don't have to be precise. You just want a piece that is a long rectangle, and when you fold it in half, which is going to be the shape of our pumpkin, this is how tall the pumpkin's going to be, and this is generally how wide, like around, it's going to be, the circumference. But you're going to bunch up the top and you're going to bunch up the bottom. So you just want to make sure that your rectangle is long enough so that you have enough space to bunch it up. Okay, so now we're here. You just finished your last row of front loop single crochets. And what you're going to do is chain 1, turn your work, and now I ended out an odd row, which leaves where I ended and where the tail of the original chain are going to be on the same side if I fold them together. So you're going to fold it together just like that, and you should have 12 stitches on each side corresponding with 12 chains and then 12 stitches. And what you're going to do is slip stitch through those 12, okay? So go through that first chain that's closest to you, and then drop it, it's gonna fold. Go through the, let's get this little tail out of the way, corresponding stitch on the other side. Make sure you go into that first stitch, okay? So you're going through all of those, and then you're gonna pull through that one loop all through the 4 that you just went through, and then pull through the loop that you already have on, and that's a slip stitch. And then you're going to do this all the way down. So just go into that next chain, through that second stitch on the other side, pull through, and then through the loop you have on. And you're going to do this all the way down. Okay, so as you can see, we made it all the way to the end. And now you're going to turn this sucker around. That's going to be your outside. And now that slip stitch that you made, there it is right there. So you can see it blends in really nicely with the rest of the ribbed outing, and you can hide it pretty well. Now, you're going to do more single crochet. You're going to single crochet around the top of this baby. And I'd go ahead and chain 1. At the top of each raised rib is where I'm going to place the stitches. So they will be pretty far apart, but that's fine because, like I said, you're just going to use those stitches to bunch it up. So you did your chain 1, and then at the top of this stripe, you can go in, make a single crochet, and then look for that next stripe, top of that, go in, and make a single crochet. And this will go pretty fast since you're, really spacing them out. And you can see it's already starting to bunch up a little bit. And we are getting so close to having a pumpkin, you guys, seriously. It's gonna be amazing. I know a lot of people, they have like a little anxiety about their projects being perfect. I personally do not, because if I did, then this wouldn't really be fun for me. Which is why I'm not telling you how many stitches I'm making. If you wanna go ahead and count them, you can. But okay, so we're already made our way back around to, this is our slip stitch column, and there's where we did the chain 1. So I'm going to do one more right here. Okay, and now let's slip stitch into that first one that we did. Okay, and give yourself You know, it doesn't have to be a super long tail, but a bit of a tail, because this is what you're gonna do to sew it up and cinch it. And now, get your needle, da 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 da, thread it. Oh no, sorry, don't. Pull it through first. Pull through that tail you just left yourself. Well, this is really long, I really didn't need that much, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. Thread your needle, and now you are gonna bunch this sucker up. And the way you're gonna do it is you just pulled through the tail through there, and so you have all of your little single crochets that you did around here. You're gonna go through each one. I like to go clockwise like this, so you just pulled through and you're gonna go back around this way. Go through that first stitch, and you can put a few on it. Just go through those outside loops of all those single crochets you just did. And you can see, even if you just do like the first 3 here, or not, geez, Amy, okay. Trying not to catch the other yarn. So we just went through like 3. Just go ahead and pull it through. And you can kind of bunch it up as you go, but you don't have to. You can cinch it all at the end because it's not a huge pumpkin. Okay, so I stitched all the way around in the outside loops back to where I started, and just give it a nice tug, and it should tighten right up like that. Like make a little pumpkin butthole. Now what we're gonna do is just really tighten it up, and I'm gonna stitch around like this to just weave in. Just go around the circle and just keep pulling it tighter and tighter. Give it a nice tug, 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 and see how it closes up really nicely. Easy, 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 lemon squeezy. And because you don't want this to come undone after you've gone around, now I'd like to just go back counterclockwise and weave in a little more like this. And then you can just, I like to do this, just pop the needle right through the center there, pull it through the inside to hide it. You can turn it like this, give it a really good tug so it's really nice and snug there. And now weave it in here. So there's just like no chance of this ever coming undone, which would be tragic. And then snip. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's gonna be inside and you're not gonna see it. So that's cool, right? So now you can start to see it's kind of starting to look like a pumpkin. And then this tail from your original chain, don't worry, you can leave it or you can weave it in if you want. Let's just weave it in right now. Let's just do it, come on. It's everybody's favorite part, weaving in ends. Wah, wah. Let's just weave this sucker in on the inside, obviously. And you don't have to be really like fancy about this. It's just to hide it and make sure it doesn't stick out. We're gonna do the same for the top, but we have to join in the yarn. So grab your yarn again. And some people like to make a slip knot, some people don't. Let's just make one. Why not make a slip knot? Just gonna put it right there. And then grab your slip knot that you made, pull it through, and then, oops, go ahead and chain one. And now just single crochet into the tops all the way around like you did before. And what you can do also right now, if you want, is you can weave this in with the work you're doing. So you can just weave it into the ends. I'm going to put this through here because I want it through a thicker part. Does that make sense? I don't want it to be through just a single strand. So I guess I'm kind of going in the middle of the raised ribs. Sorry if that was totally confusing. See what I'm saying? Like you could go here, but there's only one strand there. So I'm going here because it's thicker. There's like more of a chain there with a couple strands. So I'm going through that space instead, just to make it stronger. So it's a more durable spot, since you're gonna pull it really tight. Okay, so we made it all the way back around, single crocheting around to our slip stitch seam. And you can see there are single crochets all the way around. And now you're gonna do what you did before. Leave yourself an extra long tail this time. Whoa, sorry, I just bumped my camera. Because you're also gonna use some of this yarn to make the little indentations in your pumpkin. So go ahead and just pull through your yarn. And like you did before, we're gonna cinch up the top. But first, stuffing. Stuff your pumpkin with your fiber fill. Now, however you want your pumpkin, that's kind of up to you. Some people like a really firm pumpkin. Some people want a nice squishy pumpkin. But at this point, I'd say fill it about 80% full, so mostly full, but don't do it all the way, because if you fill it to the brim, it's gonna be really hard to do all the sewing that you need to do. So go ahead and thread your long thing. So now you're gonna do what you did before. You're gonna go into the outside loops all the way around so that you can cinch up your little pumpkin. So I'll see you back here once we get around, and don't pull it tight until you see me again. Okay, so we came all the way around and we can cinch it up like before. So I'd say pull it pretty tight and still leave a little hole so you can stuff even more in there. I like kind of a firm pumpkin, but it's really up to you what you want. But I just get it in there, kind of stuff it away into the edges, and then fiber fill is really easy and pliable to mush around until you get the shape you want. So look, it's starting to look like a pumpkin already. It's so cute. And, oh, and then also you should have your stem ready. So this is my little cinnamon stick that I already trimmed, and we can go ahead and finish tightening it. And you can have your stem right, and at this point you can kind of feel if it's squishy enough. I like that. So go ahead and pull it tight enough so that it leaves space for your stem. And you want to do it pretty tight because you don't want your stem to come out. Now the stem, you can glue it. You can do a little hot glue gun, you can do a little fabric glue, or you can just stick it in. Since I'm using a piece of real cinnamon stick, I'm just gonna leave it like that because I don't want it to be all like gross and weird, so I can replace it later. So once again, just like you did before, now you can go around the outsides of the opening, really tighten it up like that. And you can actually go back through the other direction too a little bit just to make sure you're in a good space and you've got it nice and secured. You're going to take your needle and your longer tail and just weave into the stitches. It really hides well, but just weave into these stitches like this along the edge. And it hides the thread right in there. You're just going to go like that underneath and see how you can pull it tight, and it makes that cute little pumpkin indentation. And then just kind of sneak it through here, and you can put it right through the pumpkin butt. Okay, now for this part I'm going to take my stem out and then come right up through where you want the next one to go. So I put one here. I think I'll put one over here. So I'm going to come up over here. You don't want to come up right through the center. You're going to mess up the hole where your stem is coming out. But come out through the edge on the outside of the hole. Oops. And now at this point you can give it a nice tug and make it as tight as you want, and see how it makes that nice little shape. And now I'm going to put one here. So you're just going to do the same thing. Just work through these stitches along the edge like that. Pull through. make it to the bottom. Just kind of sneak it through on the bottom and give it a little tug. Same thing, go through the center, come up where you want to do the next one. And let's put one here. So just keep doing this, and there's no set number of pumpkin indentations you have to make. It's whatever looks good, because a real pumpkin in real life does not have exact symmetrical ridges down the side. They're pretty crazy looking, actually. All the way to the bottom. And once you've gotten to the bottom of the last one you're going to do, look at how cute it is. You can actually weave it through here. So that's what I'm going to do. Pull it as tight as you want it, and then weave it through the bottom to finish it off. Oh, I barely left myself enough yarn. Make sure you give it that last final tug so you have the shape that you want. And then I'm going to go back the other direction. I'm just going to really dig in here so the tail is buried, so when I finish it off. And then I often like to just finish it if I'm done, like pop through totally a different direction, pull it through, pull it a little extra tight, snip it close, and then it pops back up and hides it right on the inside. Ta-da! And now it's a little snug. You can really stick your stem in there in the top. Look how cute that is. Ooh, it's adorables. And to finish it off, you can have some green yarn. I have a little twine. I'm gonna make it a little bow. Actually, I'll just tie it around here maybe to get it started. There. And you can also stick this on with a little hot glue gun or a little yarn fabric, or yarn glue, fabric glue. And you have an adorable little pumpkin that smells like cinnamon. Look at that. How cute is that? And that works up really quickly. And it's a great project for a beginner. So I hope this made sense to you. I hope you're able to work one out and that you have fun doing it. All right, you guys, please like and subscribe if you like this video. If you need more help on some of those beginning skills, go back to my playlist where I have all these different skills. I have tutorials for those. But happy fall, you guys. Enjoy your pumpkins. Thanks for watching. Bye.